out of apartment 5B.
You're now tuned into the Apartment 5B podcast, where we chop it up about hip-hop, R&B, sports, love and life. Hosted by Kill.
It's gonna be a lot of slow singing and flower bringing if my burglar alarm starts ringing.
What's good? You are tuned to Apartment 5B, hosted by your man Kill. I got my squad with me, in effect, my brother Rel Tresvan. What's going on, bro?
What's good? Happy to be here.
Oh man, everything good. Got my man Gadget. Got both Philadelphia Steak Life in the building tonight. What's going on, bro?
What's happening? Happy to be here.
All right, my brother from '92, freshman year, Morgan State, Baldwin Hall. What's going on, Chad?
Ain't nothing, man. Good to be here, man.
All right, no doubt. All right, my brother, the R&B guru, J. Root. I about to say J. Root the fucking damage. I literally was about to say J. Root the damages. The R&B guru, J. Root the damages is here. Nah, everybody, it's my man JR. What's going on, bro?
What's going on? Good to be here, man.
You see what happens when you listen to too much fucking Gangstar Daily Operation. But then that taps right into Vegas, out of BK. What's going on, babe?
Good, man. Thanks to the turtle. They'll wear forever.
There you go. Y'all know me. Let's jump right into it, man. On the timeline, some bull said, yo, I don't even know if LL is top 25. I said, yo, like, it was like an audible. It was like calling an audible, like, yo, nah, we got to do this right now. Like, it ain't no turnaround time. And here's the beautiful thing about L, that you could call niggas the day before, change up the whole show, and everybody's good. There's no... You do your little research, but at the end of the day, it's LL Cool J, man.
Right.
You know what I mean? So this is a salute show to L. If you rock with us, we do salute shows probably once every 2 to 3 months, just to salute somebody, give them their flowers. We're going to talk about everything with L. If you know us, we talking top 5 favorite songs, some slept on songs, top 3 albums, accomplishments. Beg hit me today, like let's hit him with some guest verses. Just everything for LL that prayerfully anybody, like I always say, who loves L will reminisce. It'll be one of those, oh yeah, that was my joint. And for somebody who doesn't know about L, this is going to be a good starting place for you to know and learn about one of the greatest MCs of all time. To some extent, I get it. The younger you are, my kids saw Straight Outta Compton. They was like, Mr. Kill, yo, Ice Cube was a gangster rapper? And I'm like, was he? Like, he was Ice Cube. But for these young kids, they just know, are we there yet? Barbershop, joints like that. They don't understand the, Predator. They don't understand America's Most Wanted or anything like that. Same with L. I think a lot of these boys see L and they think the movie star or whatever, nigga on CSI, whatever, but they don't understand St. Albans, Queens, Farmers Boulevard, all that good stuff. So we're going to be saluting that. I'm going to set off. The first time I heard of L, I can't remember if it was seeing him. It had to be before Soul Train. I just had to hear I Can't Live Without My Radio. I'm assuming it was probably on Lady B, Street B, maybe Mimi's, Rap Digest in Philly. But I specifically remember seeing him on Soul Train and it just being the coolest shit ever. Like, you seeing Cut Creator, you seeing E-Love just sitting there holding the radio or whatever like that. And I was just like, yo, I'm in. Like, this is just dope as hell for me because it was 85, so I'm 11. It's like the first hip hop song that's really speaking to me because my mom's, I didn't really start running the streets like that till 7th grade. So this is 5th grade. So my mother knew if I got in trouble, yo, just take away his equipment. Just take away his 2 turntables, his mixer. Yo, you can't listen to your little rap music no more. So for me, when that nigga was saying I can't live without my radio, like that was my soundtrack. That was me. Like, yo, I can't live without my music. My mom could be like, yo, you can't go outside. I'd be like, good, wasn't going outside anyway. I'm just in here listening and practicing my DJing stuff. So for me, that just spoke to me. So that was the first time I heard L and was a fan from the door. Rel. Now, here's the other thing about this show. If you pay attention with Apartment 5B and you rock with us, You know, two of the biggest LL Cool J fans that I know are on here right now with Rel in Vegas. Say something bad about LL. You can't hold me responsible for what these niggas might say, do, react, or whatever. You know, that's Brooklyn and then that's Uptown Philly. So I can't. You say something stupid, bro. That's on y'all to deal with. But Rel, when is the first time you heard L? Was you a fan from the door? Talk to me.
So I was a little bit younger. The first time it really where I just became a fan was the scene from Crush Groove. When I saw that, I was like, yo, that's what I want to be that. Like that's like that scene is like iconic to me. Like he just came in, killed that shit. Like when I saw that was like, yo, that's what I want to do. That's how I want to carry myself, all that. And that was, you know what I'm saying? I always say like that was my first person I looked up to, favorite rapper, you know what I'm saying? And 'cause I was really young, you know what I'm saying? So I'm real those formative years, you know what I'm saying? So I looked up to my older cousins, but that when I saw that, it was over. It was a wrap. Like I was like, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to be like. And then he was my favorite from then on. Before I even really dug into the music, like it was that. When I saw that, it was a wrap.
It's crazy. The other thing about seeing him on Soul Train, my pop was like, so you want to be a rapper? You want to be that nigga over there on the side holding the radio? And I'm like, nigga, do you not see somebody else rapping? Nigga, no, I don't want to be the nigga on the side holding the radio. Like, fucking dream killer, nigga. Like, where's the support? Where's the love? Like, you just you want to be this dumb nigga over here holding the radio. And I'm like, nigga, that's all you saw was that nigga? What about the nigga rapping? I'm like, were you secretly trying to tell me I'm not a good rapper, Pop? Like, what was you doing? Dream killer. Gadget, what about you? When's the first time you saw L and were you a fan from the door?
Oh, absolutely. Probably like everybody else, I'm probably the oldest one in here. Crush Groove. When I think the world was introduced to LL, but I didn't really, I didn't get into him until his album came out.
Right.
I was heavy on Philly, so I was heavy on Steady B and everybody else. Schoolie D. Yeah. So a New York nigga meant nothing to me.
Right. This nigga. So it was Crush Groove for you. So same thing as Rel.
Crush Groove, yeah.
All right, no doubt. Chad, what about you, bro?
For me, it wasn't really Crush Groove. Like that's too nostalgic for me. For me, it was Dear Yvette on a boombox. Like my favorite boombox song was Dear Yvette. Like and it's like I remember I recorded it on the radio. You know what I mean? So I'm just gonna say either Red or somebody was playing it, Chuck Chill Out, and then now I just recorded like their set, and I was like, and nobody was really listening to the song like that. It was. I felt like I had this song that like, why is nobody on this?
Right.
So it became my favorite. Like the way that it's so sharp. You know what I mean? But then it still has that boom. It's like it's so. It's just a raw, but it's like it's such a cool song. It's like the vibe is just so cool too at the same time. And plus, there's always like, that was like that Yvette era too. Like that was one of them names, right? Wasn't no ugly Yvettes.
Right.
It was a lot of girl records at that time.
Yeah. Right.
Well, it was just like I said, Latoya.
I was gonna say Latoya and the Yvette. Those two go hand in hand in my memory.
Right. Cats from New York, remember Search back in the day. He had a song called Hey Boy, Hey Boy.
Hey Boy. Yeah. That used to come on in Philly all the time. I didn't know who it was.
Did?
Yeah.
I heard it on Chuck Chill Out.
Yeah. But I don't know if y'all remember the people from Philly. Yvette Money had a
Ice Cream, Yvette Money, Ice Cream City.
She had a response to the Yvette. She had a response to it.
I don't even remember that joint.
Yeah. She had a response to it.
And it's funny, Chad, with Dear Yvette, I love that shit because it was always a neighborhood hoe. I don't want to say our neighborhood hoe, her name, but you know what I mean? It was awesome. Like, You know, we done changed the name to her name.
We all know what Yvette.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you know, we be around walking down the block like there, da. Well, it was dot. It was 3 syllables more than Yvette, so it ain't really fit, but she was neighborhood hoe. So I feel you on that. JR, what about you, man? You the youngest one up here, so I'm intrigued to know when you found out. I'm sure it came from your pop or your mom. So
Yeah, it's my pop. Like that's my dad's favorite MC, and that's how it kind of really connected me to hip hop. To be honest with you, because I just remember as a kid seeing him do the whole joint that I'm bad.
The video.
And I'm and you could tell like he was just feeling it. And then I was like, yo, who is this? And then that's when he started getting me into this. Like, oh, okay, this is LL. And I watched Cuss Brew because of him. And he like, that's my man right there. Like he was like, yo, he wore, blue polo shirts because of LL. Like, that's his guy. You know what I mean? So when I heard I'm Bad, I was like, oh, okay. And from that, I've been a fan. I mean, I had to be a fan. My mom had to be a fan because that's all my father. That was his guy. Like, LL was his guy until one album. My dad was barely pissed. But at the end of the day, I'm Bad is just, that's when I started. And from there, I've been a fan. For real.
Yeah, I crush you like a jelly bean. Vay, what up with you? What was your first joint?
For me, it was probably I Can't Live Without My Radio on the radio. You're listening to like all these hip hop shows at night, and most of the time they're not even back selling, so you kind of like, what the fuck is that? And I remember when I heard it, and probably for me, being younger, around that was like 85 or whatever. I always paid attention to the reaction that people older than me gave, like my brothers and my sisters or whatever, and they were hyped for LL Cool J. So, obviously I was hyped too. But I think the first time I really got to look at him like that was Crush True. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because then when I saw him, I'm like, oh, like he's young. Like, he wasn't my age, but he was much younger than Run to me.
Right.
Who was probably the other person who kind of sort of mimicked back then. But yeah, man, when I heard that song, it was just hype. It was his voice, it was his energy, and then when you saw it physically in Crush Groove, it just came together like, damn, he's dope. So, yeah, that was nice.
Now let me ask you this, because you and Rel still stand by L today. Like a lot of times through hip hop, I've had my favorites for a while. It was BDP was my favorite, then it was Big Daddy Kane. So it's changed. What has kept LL like? And like if somebody say something bad about Kane, I'm not like y'all with L. Like, somebody say bad about L.
On the low, you're calling our stands, but okay, go ahead.
What happened?
You calling them stands on the low?
No. I'm not calling. No. I'm not calling them stands. I'm actually saluting them for staying a fan of somebody that long. You know what I mean? Because like I said, for me, I'm dipping and diving. I'm like, yo, BDP, the first 2 albums. Oh, I don't like that album. I'm Big Daddy Kane. Oh, he fell off. Now I'm more like they've written with LL Cool J. So no stand shit at all. Just it's dope that y'all stayed rocking with him that long. But what was it about L that you didn't do one of mine? Like, oh, Walking with a Panther was whack, I'm on to rock him. Or, you stayed with L. So, Rel, what was it about L for you that kept you a fan all these years?
Because there was always the bounce back. Like we have our favorite artists, and we're fans of them, and we not stands, so we recognize that they have bad albums, they do shit that we don't like, they might have a bad verse, stuff like that. But he would always bounce back.
Right.
And he would bounce back like in a major way, you know what I'm saying? So and I just think about the age I was when I first became a fan to like when I'm an adult and he still got songs, you know what I'm saying? When I'm in college and he still got hits coming out, you know what I'm saying? That longevity, like, you know what I'm saying? It's just, that's what kept him at his spot with me, you know what I'm saying? Like, he'll have a bad album, 14 shots to the dome.
We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna go into, some bricks, some John Starks game 7s around here, Come on. I'm sorry, JR. I'm sorry.
I'll get into one of the main reasons why I appreciate him later on. Like, One of the. Yeah, I'll tell you why.
Veg, what about you?
Let me be very clear. Biggie's my favorite rapper.
I apologize, good brother. I would never disrespect Brooklyn like that with a Queens nigga. I apologize.
I put that Queens nigga in front of okay.
I apologize, good brother. It's Biggie. I apologize.
But you know what it is? I think it's similar to what Rel said. I think with LL, because I did the same thing you did, Kill. You know, album not hitting like that. I was popping over here. I think it was the amazement of him just coming back with joints. Like, you know, he'll have an incredible album, then he'll have a subpar or whack album, and then he has another incredible album. And for me, it's hindsight, right? Because when he had an album called The GOAT, I didn't call him The GOAT. Because I was like, you The GOAT, fuck out of here. Like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't think that. But it was just hindsight. And I mean, we'll get into it a little bit later, but again, I did a whole podcast on this, basically breaking down why, but it was Big Daddy Kane who pointed it out on an Instagram post that made me say, damn, you're right. Like, this man is checking a ton of boxes that not even my favorite can't check, all of them at least. You know what I'm saying? So it was one of those deals. It's kind of like respect down the road. Like what I said, man, I was little loving this dude, and then I'm in college, and his records are spinning next to everybody else. So
right. And we definitely gonna talk about that. Fave songs. We got some fave songs, some slept on songs. My fave songs. Can't Live Without My Radio. Already explained it. Booming System. If you was outside of 90, Booming System just went in line with, you know, again, if you was outside, probably somebody in your crew had a nice whip, you know, connect the EQ, play connect the dots, you know, just everything from Booming System was just crazy to me. Around the Way Girl. Like, there's just nothing you could say bad about that joint. Me and Tone just did a show on his podcast about 97, and we kind of was talking about commercial hip-hop and why do backpackers hate commercial hip-hop, and I was telling them, I don't think we hated commercial hip-hop. We hated that shit that the Trackmasters and Puff was doing, just looping up popular songs. But Around the Way Girl was commercial hip-hop. You know what I mean? Like, that was straight for the radio. That was straight for the videos, but I don't know any boom bap nigga who didn't like Around the Way Girl. Heavy D was commercial hip hop, but we fucked with him. So I'm like, nah, that's the thing. It ain't the boom bappers didn't like commercial hip hop. We just didn't like that cheating shit of just looping up a song you already knew was a hit to make another hit. That's what we didn't like. The Jinglin' Baby remix, man, I like Jinglin' Babies. I like the first joint. That was dope. But the Molly Mall remix, you know what I mean? With them at the party when Elle is hanging up the phone on old boy, you know what I mean? And he acting like it hurt. It was a cell phone, so it didn't hurt. But, you know, I appreciate him acting like it hurt. But that joint was crazy. And the last one for my top 5, I got to go with Pink Cookies in a Plastic Bag Getting Crushed by Buildings, the remix, the Easy Mo remix. I thought that video was crazy. I had never seen that type of BMW before. So I'm already like, yo, what the fuck? Then he get the flat. Then he throw the keys to his man. Then he get on the bus. And he's bagging the shorty on the bus. Like, it was like, you can't beat this, man. Because I thought the original Pink Cookies, they used the Old Blind Alley emotional sample that Kane used for Ain't No Half Step. And I thought that was like, wasn't whack, but I was just like, oh, we still using this sample. Like, Das had already used it. So it was like, so when I heard the remix, that was it. Slept on joints, I got the doo-wop off of Bad. I love that joint, the doo-wop. That shit was crazy to me. Got one of my favorite bars, and then we'll talk about quotables. The nigga said, I'm only 18, making more than your pop. Like, that shit was just my shit when that nigga said that. I said, God damn, you talk about an arrogant ass nigga. This nigga just said, I'm 18, making more than a nigga who's telling you not to listen to me. Like, I felt like my man, I felt like Sonny and fucking the Bronx Tale. Like, you know, we say, who's a sucker? Mickey Mance, I forgot, I can't remember, but he was like one of them Yankee plays. Oh, you a sucker or whatever like that. Chad just talked about it. Dare Yvette, like one of my favorite slept on bangers. Next up, Cheesy Rap Blues off of Mama Said Knock You Out. I love Cheesy Rap Blues. I love the story of just being on top. You fall off, nobody's checking for you. Very slept on joint off of Walking with a Panther called Dropping. I love Dropping. That shit was crazy to me. And then off 14 Shots to the Dome, I got Backseat of My Jeep. Swinging episode, that shit was hard. Monica, of course, went on to use it for just one of those days. but that shit was bangers. Rel, what about you? What's your top 5 favorite, and then some slept on ones?
All right, so for the songs, I got more than 5 because
Of course, you a Jodeci nigga. I get you. I know.
So, yo, they say don't drink and drive. I say, what is this? Pass the
Heineken and mind your business. Come on. Yo, roll up a fat one and pass it around. Like,
booming system is crazy, bro. Like, booming system. I just remember in Philly, you in somebody's Jeep and blasting that shit. Like, that shit is crazy. I'm gonna go Jingling Baby remix. Classic, one of my favorites. A Runaway Girl, again, a commercial song, but it was fire. You know what I'm saying? The video was fire. You know what I mean? Everything about that was fire. I'm gonna go. This is probably not a pop. I'm gonna go a more recent. Love You Better. Love You Better was crazy. Love You Better was crazy. Love You Better was getting played when I was in college, and it was a hit. And I'm like, yo, this is this person that before I was a baby when he came out. You know what I'm saying? So that just lets you know. I Shot You remix is, self-explanatory, and I think everybody killed it, and he killed it as well. And Mama Said Knock You Out, just because like that was like the comeback. You know what I'm saying? Like that was the bounce back, and it was, you know what I mean? Like it was a hit, but it wasn't like super commercial. It was just, I'm back. You know what I mean? And then that album, and it just the prelude to that album, which is a 5 mic classic to me. So those are mine.
You got any Slept On?
Oh, Slept On, yeah. Slept On, Where I Belong off the Go album with the second Cannabis disc. What's so funny, JR?
What's the Cannabis disc?
I know what you're talking about because I spazzed on it. Yeah. Anyway, that ended that whole beat. That was that was like kicked him when he was down. You know what I'm saying? It was typical LL. You know what I mean? Ill Bomb was on.
That was on one of them.
It was a Funk Master Flex record.
Yeah.
Killed it.
The Tunnel record.
The Tunnel. Yep. And this is later on in his career. And Backseat, my shit. Pink Cookies was my shit. So those are my
Slept On. All right. Yeah. What about you, Gage?
My top 5. I gotta go with the home team. Hey Lover, featuring Boyz II Men. Like when that came out, like I was like, yo, L is in his bag right now.
Yeah, that was fine.
And the funny thing about that song is I couldn't even not like it, even though it was the Trackmasters and it jumps Michael Jackson, Lady in My Life, and I want people. No, I did like it. I was saying I did like it, and I want for people out there who always talk about people moving the goalpost. I can't speak for nobody fucking. I'm just speaking for me personally. For me, I'm not trying to move the goalpost, but there's just certain people who just can do it. You know what I mean? And I think that's the thing of it. Like, Kill, you moving the goalpost for LL. Nah, I'm really fucking not, because I don't believe in that shit. He can just do it. Like, he could just do some shit. Like, Biggie could do some shit that you just fucking can't, my nigga. Like, it's just that simple. I'm sorry. You're just not as good as him. So it's not moving the goalpost, for me at least. I can't speak for anybody else. But I'm not moving the goalpost, but just certain niggas are dope enough to do some shit that, because I can hear somebody say, well, why Hey Lover okay, but then you mad at this song? Like, it's fucking LL. You know what I mean? And again, I'm not even like no super LL fan like that to even be making excuses for the boy. He has it. Like, that's it. So it's not moving the goalpost, but some people can just, there's some niggas who sound good over that drumless hip hop. Couple of y'all. The other 8,421 of y'all motherfuckers don't have it to do. So I'm not moving the goalpost. Like, well, why you don't mind Rock Marciano? Niggas, Rock Marciano. He's fucking nice. You're not Rock Marciano. Like, It's just sometimes in life is that fucking simple. But I'm sorry, again. But hey, love.
I'm looking at the private chat. What verse did LL not write?
So what? So when he the cannabis disc used to be the rumor was that he had ghostwriters for that.
Which one? Which cannabis disc?
The second one. I forgot the name of the track. When you said it, that's what
Oh,
you
back
write.
where I belong? Really?
Yeah.
I ain't.
Yeah.
I know. I'm at the end of that.
Yeah.
Wow, I never heard that. My second one, booming system. Like, I think for everybody, and I was DJing at the time, and the blend was booming system into En Vogue, or En Vogue into booming system.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I got a 4-3-2-1. One of my favorite joints, and I got Love You Better, and Jinglin' Baby remix. Oh, and my last one was Paradise. I don't think nobody liked it. I liked it. It was a Trackmasters joint featuring
Hey Marie.
I
liked it.
Okay,
I liked
it.
Yeah.
I think the other crazy thing about Booming System was this was our first time hearing L again after Walking with a Panther. Like we heard Jinglin' Baby remix. We heard the remix, but coming back from that album with Booming System just blew me the fuck away. So that just had me on a whole nother planet. Chad, what about you? Top 5 favorite L's?
Yeah, so for me, my favorite LL song just became the I Shot Your remix. So I never thought I would hear Prodigy and LL on the song together. You know what I mean? Like that just kind of connected things on a whole nother level from, so that vaulted everything up there because it brought all my eras together. You know what I mean? So that was the radio, backseat of my Jeep because I bought the T-shirt on the cart, right outside Mart 125. You know what I mean? So I bought that one, and I forgot because it said backseat of my Jeep, and on the back it said "Let's Swing an Episode." And I didn't even have a car yet, but you couldn't tell me nothing.
Yeah, I feel you, bro.
Yes, so it was that Rock the Bells. So it was backseat of my Jeep. I Shot Your remix, radio. Rock the Bells, and and Dear Yvette. I said Dear Yvette earlier, right? And as far as my slept on ones, let me go back to it because you had me doing homework.
Yeah, I was sitting y'all up all day. I told you it was an Audible show. It was like, yo, here's one more thing. Bae hit me this morning like, yo, what about this? I'm like, that. Sent the email like, yo, I thought something else. Let's keep it going.
Mm-hmm. So I like Get Down, but that's one of my slept on because I feel like that was one of the joints where he was just spitting. You know what I mean? For that era, like he was just going in. Like that was his pen game was ridiculous for that era. Then, mine is Candy. I feel good. I feel like nobody has about that song.
I love that shit too, man. I love that shit too. Trust me, it would have made my list if I was being a Boys to Men nigga. I was keeping it to 5, but Candy would have been.
First off,
Candy would have been on that list because I love Candy, man. That shit was, and I felt like it was a follow up to Dear Yvette. Like even though it really wasn't, it just was like another chick song. It's the second song, so it was like it felt good.
So I put on the Bristol Hotel. I love it. Right, because when they said where that at, Jamaica, Queens. Oh my god! Like I was like, yo, this is there's a Jamaica in Queens. That's literally how I learned about Jamaica Queens.
Right.
That's literally how I learned. Like I thought it was, I was confused, but it was dope. So it's Bristol Hotel, 4-3-2-1. I feel like we don't really talk about it a lot. You know what I mean? But it's also one of when bringing the eras back, connecting the dots for me. And then I feel like as dudes, we don't talk about I Need Love enough, right? But we all know the words, we've all put a face to it, and we all sing it in the mirror at least once.
I hated that fucking
never.
song, man.
Never.
I
hated that song too.
I can say never. I hate to start relationships off with lies. Yo,
I swear on every piece of Low I own, I ain't never seen I Need Love in the mirror. But I respect it. It just I wasn't ready for it. But I understand. I'm in the minority. Everybody loves that song. I'm in the minority. I know when I'm in the minority.
No, but
I'm
also what
with
that song did though, like that song kind of like was the first time that I knew of like females that was really like talking about a rapper. You know what I mean? Like not just listening to the music, but like really talking about an artist that they was like into like that. You know, right. It was just different. Like that was a game changing song to me. I think that everything like that set the trajectory for hip hop.
It spoke to a lot of shorties, even the video. The dad take down them posters, and so I think even shorties who ain't even like LL was like, that's my life. Like, yeah, I fucking like this rapper. Like, so nah, totally understand.
But like even if you was a young knucklehead, right, and like you had girls who fathers didn't want them talking to you, like you kind of felt that.
That's beautiful that you had girls with fathers. Every chick I dated never had a father. Like it just goes back to the trajectory of where the black men.
That's predatory, Kill. That sounds predatory.
like T's dad is like the first dad I met. Like, and I'm getting married. Like literally, like it ain't no dads in the Philly hoods. I don't know what the fuck happened. They just all left. So hey, I'm happy you even met a dad before. The moms didn't like you, so I can relate with you on that. Moms hated me. So K Solo's Your Mom Is in My Business was my fucking soundtrack. So I'm with you. I'm with you on I Need Love. That was it? Or you had any more?
No, I'm good. All
right, JR, what you got? What you say, Gaz?
I forgot. I didn't give you my slept on joints, but I left everybody else.
All right, what you got, JR?
All right, so my top 5 is Rock the Bells. My Rhyme Ain't Done. That is a thing for me and my dad because I love it when he do because I can just come in and yell in my rhyme ain't done. So that's me and his joint there. The Lounger remix, I love the remix.
Yeah,
the regular version, I can't do that. But the remix with Total, I'm good with it. Around the Way Girl, like you said. But my favorite LL song is Eat 'Em Up L Chill. My favorite joint. Obviously, my first name starts with an L. I'm named after my dad, so that's our record. You know what I mean? So like, my dad would do something and walk in the house, and I'd be like, "Eat 'em up, L." He'd be like, "Chill." Like that was, you know what I'm saying?
That's
like,
dope. That's dope, man.
You know what I mean? And my mom would be hating because she didn't include it, but that was my joint. So anytime I blast that joint, I think about him. But my underrated joint, I like Get the Drop on Them on Mr. Smith.
Okay.
Buck 'em Down or 14 Shots to the Dome.
Is that the one where he was like bang boom? It felt like a Batman episode with the boom pow. No, that was
yeah.
It is that one. Okay, yeah. Like he was doing a lot of sound effects on that.
Yeah.
Kelly liked that one.
I was like, you know what? It was also How I'm Coming. That set off 14 Shots to the Dome. That had even more sound effects on it than that.
Backseat, of course, is an underrated of mine. I Want to Be Paid or Phenomenon with Lost Boys. I like it. You know what I mean? People don't really rock with it, but I do. And obviously, I'm a Mary head. I got to throw this in there. Favorite Flavor with Mary on the Todd Smith record. So that's a joint that people don't talk about. So those are my 5 that underrated from them.
All right, babe, what you got, bro?
All right, favorites. I got Around the Way Girl. Song is just timeless. Even when I hear it on the radio, like in New York, they got a station called The Block. That's like old school or whatever. They play it all the time, and every time they play it, I turn it
so
right.
So 94.7 or 94.5?
Yeah, just Ill Bomb. I mean, drop a bomb on them. As soon as the track come on, I transform on them. I'm like, LL rapping like this now? Yeah. Come on, crazy. That was also on the GOAT album.
The GOAT, yep.
The album and the GOAT album. Mama Said Knock You Out. Obviously, dope joint. Jinglin' Baby remix. Yo. See this. I'm gonna speak to you hip hop Twitter niggas. I danced back in the days, okay? Jinglin' Baby remix.
Listen.
At Walgreens, please. You know what I'm saying? That song was, and it was old by the time I got to Morgan. That's how crazy it was. But yeah, one of my favorites. Booming System. Like I said, man, when I heard that, I was like, oh, this is crazy. Even when he spelled his name at first, he was like, "Damn," like, because you used to Big Daddy Kane with the quick shit.
Right.
This, and he like, that means I'm chilling. I'm like, okay, Al, all right.
Bro, I even love Marley in the beginning. Like, yo, let's kick something for the. Yeah, but let's do something for the cars though. Like, even that part is crazy, man.
Right. It's just like a natural, perfect setup for a dope song that you don't see coming when the beat hits. Slept On. I think Milky Cereal doesn't get enough props.
Yes.
Because it's a nice display of some skill there, and I think Jizza got a lot of respect from people like myself also when he did something similar with labels. But people always forget, LL did Milky Cereal. It was kind of the same kind of scheme, I guess. Illegal Search.
Crazy.
I heard that joint, I was like, damn, I think I like Conscious L. Like, this kind of crazy. Backseat of My Jeep, I had that too. I love that record. The bass in that record is just crazy as soon as it comes on. What else I had? Dear Yvette. I used to love that song back in there. I was too young. I had no relationships and none of that shit. I was just like this all the time. Like, what you say, L? What she do? And then what else?
Do you think that was slept on though? You think that was slept on?
Dear Yvette?
Yeah, I do. See, the way I was looking at Slept On is just, again, for people who may not know about L, it's like I want to give them a blueprint of a GPS of where to go for not just them radio songs. You know what I mean? For them to really dig deep, because L is the type of boy that he's had such a long run. Like, I know Prince fans who've never heard of Prince album, but because he's had so many hits, you know what I mean, that they say that they fans. So I always want to give them, whether they slept on or just album cuts. You know what I'm saying? But like, I can't remember if they play Candy like that. Not Candy, Dear Yvette like that on the radio. I can't remember, but I just remember it really just being all about Rock the Bells and I Can't Live Without My Radio that I always heard. Not saying, and again, different spots. I don't know, maybe New York played it more than what Philly did, but I just don't remember hearing Dear Yvette like as much as I heard Rock the Bells, and I knew it was not he was performing on Soul Train or no shit like that.
Yeah, I think it was popular back then, in New York, but I was kind of looking at it like songs that don't get mentioned a lot of times, or they don't make a greatest hits. Okay. And even though we know, like, yo, this was a popular song back when it came out. But yeah, and my last one is, because this was before the album or whatever, the original I Shot You. That's just LL Cool J rapping. Right. I heard that first before the remix came out, and I was like, damn, LL kind of getting crazy on this. And then the remix just took it to the next level. Yeah, those are my slept ons.
Right. Shout out to the Track Masters, man. A lot of people only know them for the loop and stuff, but they got some bangers. They got that I Shot You, Ill Street Blues. I got a whole mixtape of just tone and poke shit that has nothing. They ain't no loops. It's just real hip hop. So
that was the hardest Lynn Collins flip I've ever heard in my life.
That I Shot You, yeah. Shit is hard. Where you slept on joints, guys?
Oh, my slept on joints. I had Ill Bomb, a top 5 DJ Scratch produced record. DJ SNS produced a joint called Faha with a Hall & Notes sample. Fire. I forget what album. Yeah. LL off the Mr. Smith. He's rapping over the Bard sample, Make It Hot.
Yeah.
One of my favorite records. And I had 6 Minutes of Pleasure and Illegal Search.
Yeah.
6 Minutes of Pleasure with my shit. Yeah.
Illegal Search is dope too. That's when everybody was getting pulled over. Kane had that joint, so I'm not drug dealing. You sell them on my autographs. All the cops on the highway get me. My name ain't Keeps. Can you please stop sweating me? I forgot what song is that. My name is Keeps. Song. I forgot before all them JMC throw on, but Kane had one of them like cops pulling people over. This is back in like late '89, early '90 when cops was, if you had a nice car, you was getting pulled over. If your windows was tinted, so definitely love that. Top 3 LL albums in order. I'm going with Mama Said Knock You Out, number 1. like Rel said, the bounce back. You know, there's been a couple of times when L has been dead in the war. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you don't think he's coming back. Like, bro, I don't know. You're a Nas dude. Like, after Walking with a Panther, it wasn't as bad as where it was like after Takeover, right? Where it was like nobody thought he was gonna bounce back.
I can't tell you because it's just different times. Like,
right. Man. Like after Walking with a Panther, would y'all say like a lot of people was like L is done?
I just know he got bad.
As soon as he put that hat on, that cloth hat, he was like, "Yo, who is this dude?"
Right.
like it was. Remember that like
that big hat he had. Like I called it like the Joker hat.
Like, I couldn't do that.
I never knew. I just had to do this research recently. I didn't think he was in the video for Rampage. I thought because
that was him.
But PMD said it was. PMD said he was in the video, but they wanted him to be behind the curtain on some old like what was the boy from Charlie's Angels?
Charlie.
Or whatever. Yeah, Charlie. But you didn't see the nigga. But PMD said that was him. So that new hat he had, like he got rid of the Kango and got that new tall cat in the hat or whatever like that. But well, he was just. A lot of people was dead. I know in Philly, in my neighborhood, we thought L was over. You know, I'm not gonna hold you. Going back to Cali, we was like, what? Like, huh? Like, I don't know about that one, you know. But then he hit you with Jack the Ripper, and then we got I'm That Type of Guy, and I was like, I don't know about this one either, bro. Like, but this comeback right here to me is one of the greatest top 3 comeback albums ever from an MC. Top 5 Mic album, easily Eyes Closed. There's a song on here for everybody, no matter which you want. The second album I'm going with is I'm Bad. I'll never forget this. I've told the story before. I brought this from the record store around my way with my money. It's 1987. I would take it home. My next door neighbor is like the Debo of the neighborhood. And he was like, yo, let me hold that shit. I was like, fuck here, nigga, I guess. I was like, yo, when can I get it back? He's like, nigga, I get shit back to you tomorrow, man. Just chill. I was like, all right. Like, dog, I couldn't sleep that whole fucking night. You talk about Chad. You talk about being in the mirror singing I Need Love. I'm sitting in the mirror like, okay, yo, Wayne, yo, is there a way I could get it? Yo, do you mind? Like, you know, okay. You talk about working on some shit. I was working on that all night. Couldn't sleep. I woke up at 8 in the fucking morning the next day. Knocked on his door, and the nigga gave it back to me. It was the happiest I've ever been. For people who out there don't understand, I'm willing to risk my life and my life for this album. Knocking on Devo's next door, talking at 8 in the fucking morning, talking about, can I get this back? But that's how important this album was for me, that I was willing to risk life for them. That's why I said, man, y'all don't love hip-hop as much as we do, because we was taking ass whoopings for hip-hop. We was getting put on punishment for hip-hop. Like, y'all niggas just listen to whatever fuck y'all want in your ear pod. Your parents have no fucking idea.
They don't know about stealing a record. They don't know how to steal a record.
Stealing? Nigga, please, man. So again, this is what we was doing. So this is it. And then Radio as my number 3. You can't go wrong with that 3 album run right there. Rel, what are your top 3 albums in order?
Mama Said Knock You Out is 1. Bad is 2. And the GOAT album is 3 for me.
All right. Yeah, what about you?
I'm gonna be different. My number 1 album from Mr. Smith is the Mr. Smith album.
Okay.
That's my first one. Second one is Mama Said Knock You Out, and then Bigger and Deffer.
I'm not gonna hold you. I'm actually shocked that Mr. Smith reigns so high with you, because it's a lot of loops.
I like the track masters.
There you go. Makes sense. Hey, nothing else left to say.
I'm an R&B guy.
All right. I don't know about that. For people who don't know, Gadget runs Scratch Magazine, so I'm used to him being around niggas like Knots and Diamond D and all these diggers, Kev Brown and all that shit. So I'm actually kind of surprised now that this nigga likes the track master. I had no idea.
Mr. Smith was another bounce back album.
Yep.
Oh, no, I agree. I was just shocked that was his favorite album, because I know him more as a boom bap digger producer. So most producers like that didn't like the track master.
There are some boom bap loops.
Oh no, yeah, no doubt. There's some shit on there, you know. But I feel you. Chad, what about you?
I have Bigger and Deffer first. Radio second, and then Mama Said Knock You Out. I mean,
right.
I think that just like between Candy, my rhyme ain't done. You know what I mean? Off of Bigger and Deaf, which could have been one of my slept songs, right? Because nobody really talks about my rhyme ain't done. Like that's another one where he was really spitting. And so definitely for me, Bad, then Radio, then Mama Said Knock You Out. Then everything else has had like joints on it.
Yo, it's so crazy when I think of Bigger and Deaf. Shit, I even like Go Cut Creator Go, man. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't even gonna hold you. That was my shit. You know what I mean? I never forget, man. This is the influence hip hop had on us as kids. Like, I even wanted my mom to put up a box and a bag in the basement. I was like, yo, I want to be like LL. Like, I want to be on the bag every day, man. You know what I mean? So, love this album. Like I said, I was willing to die for this fucking album. So, it says a lot right there. JR, what you got up?
Mine is Mama Said Knock You Out. Number 2 is Mr. Smith, and 3 is Bigger and Deffer.
All right. Yep. Not bad at all.
Why did you like Mr. Smith?
That for me is it. That was the album for me that I started really getting into LL for me.
Okay. You forget. JR is like 28, bro. So you gotta remember he a lot younger than us, man.
No damn 28, but yeah, it was like Mama Said Knock You Out. I love it, but Mr. Smith is when I got into it for myself, and then it was like the bounce back because my dad liked that too. Because the one before then he wasn't very happy with, but you know that is when I got into it. But Mama Said Knock You Out, just 5 mic period, like nah, and then Bad after that. So.
Because don't get twisted, L will disappoint your ass. Because coming back after Bigger and Deaf, I got Walk with a Panther. I'm looking at the cover like, God damn it, does this Panther have on a gold chain? Nigga, what the fuck is going on? And then coming back from Mama Said Knock You Out, 14 shots to the dome. I was like, oh man, you just killing me, man. To the point I used to call that nigga every other album. I'm like, LL every other album Smith. Like this nigga, that's his mantra. Babe, what about you? Top 3 LL albums?
Mama Said Knock You Out. Mr. Smith and Radio.
All right, let's do this. Bang, I know you were saying top 3 guest verses. I was looking at maybe just shouting out like the biggest guest verse that you can remember. And if you have more, you could definitely go. Please be on these shows. Please be Jodeci all day long because it's about showing them love. So you can't say enough. My favorite LL guest verse is Flavor in Your Ear remix because to this day I still don't know what the fuck he's talking about, but it sounds amazing. I don't know what Ishe is. I don't know if that's a word, if he made it up. Blotitious. You know, I have no idea what the fuck he's talking about. None whatsoever.
Didn't you just have some sort of Twitter thing about this a couple months ago?
Well, a couple of days ago, West Coast Vern asked me how could Camp Lowe's Uptown Saturday Night be a 5 mic classic if we don't know what the fuck they're talking about. I went on to say, to me, it doesn't matter what you're talking about, is if the song sounds good. I told him any MC would be happy to have a song as big as Lucchini under their belt, and I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. I don't understand what CL Smooth is talking about 80% of the fucking time, but the shit sounds good, so it doesn't really matter to me. So again, I don't know what Ishe is. I don't know if L has ever even explained that verse. I don't know if we need to go to Genius. I don't know if I need to go Apple Music. The shit just sounded great. And a song that I totally forgot that he even had a guest verse on until I was making one of my Keith Sweat slow jam mixtapes.
Why me?
Yes.
And I totally forgot that LL is just talking the whole fucking song and Keith is just on some old Why Me shit in the background. Shit is hilarious to me. But still a good song, but it's just fucking hilarious to give LL. It's almost like when Marcus told Boy and a Bull and Boomerang, just do whatever you want. Cherry and Banana. Like, you know, it literally like somebody just said, LL, just do whatever the fuck you want. Just go in there and just talk your LL shit on that. But that's my shit. Rel, what's one of your favorite LL guest verses?
Rampage.
Ooh. Yeah.
That's mine.
Just snapped on that. I love that song. Yeah. He snapped on that. The flavor.
Real quick with Rampage. Because I put this on Twitter this week and I think we was talking about EPMD and it was like, I'm like, yo, L blacked out and he dissed them on their own song. You know what I mean? So I think that's like one of the other iconic things that LL has done. This nigga jumped on a song with probably one of the, if not the biggest rap group at the time and dissed them on their song. So you gotta have some big ass balls to do some shit like that.
Basically in the middle of their like Run, their legendary
Right.
Run, classic album. You know what I'm saying? And the Flavor in Air remix, I like it too. I don't know what he was talking about, and he made it sound cool. He was saying some wild stuff like, what do you say? A tongue is a piranha, electrocute a barracuda.
I'm here to bring the drama. Like
He was saying some weird stuff, but he made it sound and look cool. So,
Right.
Why Me had two versions.
Yeah, the one that Keith, and then you had the LL one. Yeah.
Yeah, the faster version he rapped on. The slower one, he just talked. And it was cool though. Like you gotta see the video. The video is funny. But yeah, so those are my guest verses.
All right. Gaz, what's up with you? Guest verses.
Oh man. All right. I got about 7 here.
All right, that's about right, Casey.
LSG, I'm Curious.
I remember that joint.
That was yes.
I'm about to R&B y'all out. Carl Thomas, I Wish remix.
Okay, all right, I'm done. Okay.
How about that?
Yeah.
Well, you know what, Gaz? Let me come back to you since you got 8.
You
got 8. Like, I want to give other people a chance to live. This nigga like I got 12 of them. Like you gonna name everybody shit if you got 8 of them, nigga. Like,
no. All right, I'll do 2 more.
No,
you can do them all, but let me just come back to you last.
Go ahead.
Okay, all right. You want to come back to me last?
Yeah, because you got 15. Bang, what you got, man?
I don't have that many. All
right, you can go. What else you got?
Montel Jordan, Get It On Tonight remix.
Yes.
And MC Light's version of Self-Destruction. Her verse on Self-Destruction.
Okay. Now see now we gotta put a pin in everything. Now we gotta stop. Now we gotta fucking throw a flag on the play.
He wrote the first part, right?
He wrote the Funky Fresh Dress in the Press Ready Party, something Dying to Move Your Body. He wrote the first piece, and Light said she only let him do that because Russell wouldn't let him get on that joint. So it was like, let me do something for him. So, he did write half of that bar, and it is what it is. But I just want to make that little asterisk because anytime somebody say something about Light, but L wrote a verse, so just want to put that out there that he didn't write the whole verse and why Light let him do that. Because I don't think Light, truth be told, 89 Light, 89L is fucking Walking with a Panther. I think 89 Light is better than 89L. Just those years. So I don't think Light needed help to write her rhymes, but that's just me. Chad, what you got for your favorite guest verse?
Definitely Flavor in Your Ear remix. I mean, to be honest, we didn't see it coming. You know what I mean? We like it wasn't like, yo, Puff gonna have Craig Mack,
Rampage, LL Cool J. Right.
Like Rampage is the Ray Jackson of the Ray Jackson of that song.
Ray Jackson from the
Fab Five. Yeah.
That's funny. That's a good analogy. That's funny.
You know what I mean? So that's like what.
Yeah, like you said, it's totally off. When you look at this, you got a Craig Mack remix with Big, LL, Rampage, you know what I mean? It don't even, and Busta, Busta had to say, yo, my man Ram gotta get on, come on, Puff, I'm trying to drop his shit. You gotta let Ram get on.
And Craig Mack had to be on it, right? It was
his song. Because I think if it was up to Puff, they would have left Craig off. Nah, nigga, we got this. Thank you for sending us off. We good on the remix, Craig.
Yeah, we
don't
We're just gonna call it part
No,
two.
I'm not saying I did it. Puff would have done it. Puff was the one sitting right there in the interview talking about, yeah, we working on Craig's new album. Craig was like, fuck this nigga talking about. Yeah. Yo, how bad would that be if a nigga kicked you off your song for the remix?
It would be real Puff. It would be a real Puff move. I'm actually surprised in retrospect that he didn't do it.
Yeah.
Right. That's crazy.
He didn't want him on that song.
Yeah. That's crazy. Anything else, Chad, or is that's your one?
Well, I mean, then Rampage. I mean, that's probably my favorite LL verse.
Wow. Okay.
That's probably my favorite LL verse. I can't even front. Plus it was also kind of also another era. Not necessarily another era, but two different vibes of the same era. You know what I mean?
Right.
You never, hearing LL, it felt like that was a real flex. And you learn the business and you figure out you find out how much it makes sense business wise. But as far as musically, it was LL, you know, it's kind of like how I said I like hearing LL and Prodigy on the song. Hearing LL and EPMD on the song was just kind of like dope, and it was a perfect beat for L too.
Right.
That was like, you know, to bring it brought the best out of him to me.
Yeah, no doubt. What about you, JR?
All right, so I got Rampage. I got Brandy Sitting in My Room remix. I got the Mary All Night remix. He Took My Carl Thomas. That was one. The I Wish. And I'm going to throw, he did No Questions with Allure. I like that. And then one more. I'm going to throw the Babyface joint he did with the Lover and You joint. So I'm going to throw that joint in there. So those are mine, but the other ones Gadget already had. So I'm good. I'm good.
All right. Vang, what about you, bro?
Favorite. I only have 3. Rampage for a lot of the same beats that everybody else saying. Flavor of the Year remix. I felt the same way. You know what I'm saying? Like I had no idea what the fuck he was talking about. Shit sound smooth and crazy. So I was, especially in the video, I was with it. And Mary Jane, All Night, the remix that should have been on my life, if you ask me, because when I heard that shit, I was like,
I agree.
Perfect LL Cool J on this joint.
Right.
But yeah, those are my favorites.
Yo, I want to take a sec to just salute LL's hat game. Like, for a nigga who it took us 20 years to see this nigga without a hat, I think it was him and Run. Like, they was in competition for who was not going to see what this looked like under this hat. Because you had never seen Run without a hat. You had never seen LL without a hat. LL more from the Kango to the Cat in the Hat. Then in the Flavor in Your Ear video, he had the visor. Like, this nigga stayed able to switch the hat game up to not see his head. I think the first time we saw his head was in that movie Deep Blue Sea with the shark. That was like the first time. So you're talking about a nigga who went a good 10 years without showing that nigga head. You know what I mean? So
wasn't You Ain't No Cop J Reed before that?
I don't think so. I don't think that came before Deep Blue Sea.
And Too Deep, I don't know.
Which is another slept on movie. We're gonna talk about L and the acting, but I just want to salute him on the music side first. But we're gonna get to the acting because then
real quick, Kill, because because you mentioned the hats. The most important hat that he ever wore was the FUBU hat in the Gap commercial.
That is true.
Yep,
very much. That whole flip is on a whole nother level. That's like, it felt like, you know, slaves talking a different talk that the master didn't understand, and we done found freedom from this shit. Like, we sit there planning the whole getaway in front of the white folk, and they have no idea what we talking about. For the Gap to pay him to promote a black company was just ingenious. That's a whole nother.
But to have the actual hat on in the commercial was crazy.
And Gap shooting it and nobody even says anything about it. Like, you can't beat that. Because this started out from someone saying L is not a top 25 MC, let's talk about where does he rank? Does LL crack your top 10 list? He does for me. He's probably 7'8". To me, one of the greatest MCs ever, easily. You know, and for me at 49, I'm now at the point of if we don't, like, somebody may say he's number one. That's cool. You know, back in the day at Morgan Vague, we could argue all day. You got Big One, I got J2. We arguing for 20 years. You know, it's one spot. You know what I mean? So for me at this age, I'm like, look, if you got the right people in your top 10, no hoopla. So L is probably around 7 to 8 to me. Again, one of the greatest MCs ever. We'll talk more about that during the accomplishments. But Rel, what about you? Does L crack your top 10 GOAT MC list?
Top 3.
Okay.
Top 3. It's Nas, Big, L.
All right. There you go. Vague, what about you, man?
Y'all already know. Number 1.
All right. There you go.
For a number of reasons. Let me just go back to what I teased a little bit earlier. But I just remember when Big Daddy Kane was kind of breaking it down, why he was saying he's the true GOAT. And he was talking about all these boxes he checked. So I started thinking about it. I was like, okay, you know, sure. There are a number of MCs that could check a number of boxes, from success to lyricism and stuff like that. And then I just started putting them up against some of the top MCs and saying, okay, if we're talking about not just success and bars, in hits, but longevity, performance. LL checks every box. Battling, like posse cuts, everything. He checks every box. So I started to feel like, damn, maybe he is the blueprint. And I put him up against Big. I put him up against Jay. Nas kind of creeping in because that Hit Boy one is kind of crazy to do something like that so late in your career. But one thing that I always say, like when I'm telling my brother about it, I was like, yo, this man had hits in the Run DMC era, the NWA era, the Death Row era, the Bad Boy era, Boot Camp, 50 Cent, Slim Shady. You keep going. He had hits in decades of hip hop, and it's only 50 years old. And then he's a song with Q-Tip in 2023, and we all
sounded kind of dope. That shit was dope.
So to me, it's something to be said about someone who can perform on that level and check all those boxes, like the New Year's Eve performance. This is you know, when we were younger, you even approaching 50, you are an old man to us, right?
Right.
This man is energetic. Now, that shit he did at the end with his tongue was some LL shit. I don't know. Look, I don't. That's L. If you know LL, you know you're gonna have a pants leg up and you're gonna do some weird shit that you're kind of like, yeah, I don't know if you should do that. But the thing I like about it is the fact that he's never really been my favorite of all time. I've never really gone to bat for him, but again, in hindsight, when you look at checking all the boxes of success and albums and classics and longevity and influence, this man's still doing it. You know, even with what he's doing with Rock the Bells, not just as a serious.
But hold tight, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to Rock the Bells. Right. We're gonna get to it. But yeah, nah. So GOAT number one, JR. What about you? Where is L in your top 10?
He's number 4 for me.
Okay.
Yeah, like, but like listening to Vegas, like for real, he checks all the boxes. So it's like, for real, it's some of really in my top 3 that don't really check all the boxes, but they're my fave. So I can't. But LL is like every decade, like kind of what we did with Hev. It was like every decade he lasted through.
Yeah,
you know
very technical. If we're going by boxes, Hev should be in everybody's top 10.
Yes. It's like, so Hev, you got to throw LL clearly in there. So, but yeah, he's number 4 for me.
Gadget, what about you?
Depending on my mood, 5 or 6.
This nigga said dependent on this. Is it cumulus clouds? Is it a 73-degree day? Is it an 85-degree day? Or it's a 40-degree day? Or that nigga number 9? If it's a 72-degree day in Philly at the plateau, he's number 4.
I have a top 10 different every month. Like somebody moves into my top 10 every month. But he stays in the top 10.
All right. So that's he stays. Chad, what about you?
All right, so I had to do this like from a weighted average. So walk with me. So I said he's a top 10 hip hop personality. He's a top 10 hip hop performer. He's a top 10 most influential. But to me, he's not a top 10 MC. But with the fact that he's top 10 in all those other categories, puts him number 1 on the pound for pound list.
Right.
Because pound for pound, like nobody's seeing him in all those areas, right? Because it's like you go to a show, LL gun body it, right? You want to watch, you want to talk about influence. LL has influenced the genre and took it to another height, So as far as and having the ability to spit, so like it's not like he's somebody that we just kind of give credit to because he's old. You know what I'm saying? He was actually one of the best when he first came out. You know what I'm saying? So I think that pound for pound, he really may be the GOAT, which is why he was the first person to actually call himself that, right? Like in the way that because we at that time when he released when he put that out, nobody was really looking at him like that. But then when we really started evaluating his whole package,
I mean, we didn't even know what a goat was. We didn't even know what a goat was. It's like, nigga, you a goat? Fuck wrong with hell now? This nigga tripping again now, you know? So, you know, he basically coined a phrase that now we all use. You know what I mean? It's, you know, it's almost like how Nas was saying, like, you know, hey, everybody calling each other king now. I was doing that shit first, you know. So I think that's still a thing, bro. You about to say something?
Yeah, if you want to check boxes, you can put them up against anybody, anybody you name. Like when Veg was breaking down that stuff, like, I mean, you could make that argument against anybody that he should be there. Like I don't know too many people that check all of those boxes and battle tested. So
we're gonna talk about that. I think one of the things, and we're gonna talk about this for another episode. I think because certain people don't have all the boxes that we may have to check. You know what I mean? So there's a fan out there who's like, nigga, I don't care about none of the other boxes, but this nigga got bars. You know what I mean? So I think that's what may happen. Like, we may be able to sit back and say he checks all these boxes, but it's almost like voting for the NBA, like for the MVP, whoever you vote for. It's like one of those things but not everybody has those boxes. So I think that may be a reason why LL doesn't come across a lot of people who are our age is top 10 list, because they may not care about all those other boxes. What are you gonna say, Veg?
I was gonna say, like, I get that, but I think that puts it in the category of choosing your favorites. Because to me, Biggie is my favorite, right? So he don't have to have a better stage performance than LL, because I don't care. Like, I like his music that much. Right. I feel like it's more of, if you're gonna really on a universal level break it down, like, okay, you're looking at attributes of an MC and of any MC, and where, you know, what are the boxes and what do they check? And usually it's a little bit more comprehensive than the nigga got bars, because a lot of people got bars, you know what I'm saying? But if you want to separate them, kind of like people do with like the LeBron James and Michael Jordan and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, then you got to get into the nuance of the conversation and say, okay, well, this nigga perfect in the finals. This nigga been there 10 times, and that's not easy. So I think it's like you said, it's different discussions, but I think sometimes people have their favorite, I guess, category or whatever to break down why they think somebody's the best. But a lot of times it's just more so, you know, I mean, all of it's subjective, but most of the time it's just what they want out of the GOAT, as opposed to, let's just see what MCing is or being a rapper is, and then grade it by that scale.
And I agree with you, Veg. I think the problem is that's having an intelligent conversation, and that's taking some time to actually do some fucking homework. Now, if you think niggas give a fuck about taking some time and doing some fucking research, then we're sadly mistaken. So people ask me shit on Twitter all the time. And I'm like, well, I can't answer that question intelligently because I don't fucking know. Not too many people on Twitter are going to say I don't fucking know. They're going to make up some shit, even if it sounds dumb. So I agree with you wholeheartedly. I just think that that's the piece. The average person talking, even in real life, I've been in barbershops. On the real life side of things, people just talk. They don't know the top 5 attributes of what they like in an MC. They've never even thought about it before. It's just like you said, I like Big. Big's the GOAT. Well, why is he the GOAT? Because he's my favorite, and he's the best. Why is he the best? Because he's the best. Like, it's just going to be a clear cut. There's no thought process. There's no, these are the attributes, these are the boxes. So, but I do think if we started looking at things as these are the boxes, and that may, you know what, we'll talk about, well, people shark bite my shit when it come out anyway. Maybe that would be a show where we sit down and we look at what are the boxes. You know what I mean? So we can then try to help lead a fucking brigade of this is how you should be judging MCs and on this level. Because something that somebody said, I don't agree. If somebody does, my man Cash said, and that's my guy, that Onyx was a legendary group. I said I disagree. I don't think they're legendary. You know, one of my homeboys was like, yo, I think niggas just, that's the new way to say old. Like, if you're old, then you a legend. You know, or if they don't like you, then you trash. Somebody asked me about M today, and I never should have answered this question because it's got like 8,000 responses and a whole bunch of Eminem stands. But he was like, what do you think about him? I said, I think at M's peak, he was a 5 mic MC. But, bro, you don't understand this. You too, Gash. He's like the art museum in Philly. You go once, you never have to go the fuck back again. Like, I listened once. There's no reason to go back. You know what I mean? Because unless there's a new exhibit, like you've been to the art museum once, you fucking been there. Like, nobody's going to be like, hey, want to go to the art museum after we hit up South Street? No, nobody's fucking going back to the art museum for a second time. But I don't think a lot of people, because they don't like him, would never give him 5 mics. I don't like him at all. I'm not an M fan at all, but I'm not going to sit here and say that at his peak, he was not an incredible MC. You know what I mean? And I think we do that with hip hop. We don't really do that in basketball. Like, I hate Michael Jordan. I grew up a Bad Boys fan. But I'm not going to sit here and say he's not the GOAT just because I didn't like him. Whereas I think a lot of people will be like, oh, Eminem is whack because I don't like him. And it doesn't even equate to each other.
Can I give you some advice, kid?
We said?
Can I give you some advice?
Don't say nothing about him?
No.
Oh.
I need you to become a a registered person on Twitter so you can start getting paid from the ads.
No, I actually am. I got my. I just got my. Okay. I was very happily surprised. I think I called everybody up here for the exception of Chad because he's not really on Twitter to say, "Hey, I just got a nice text the other night about a nice little something getting dumped in my bank account." So yes, I am there, Gadget. I appreciate the.
All right, because your joint is going crazy.
Yeah, and I was amazed. I was thinking I was gonna get that fucking Bandcamp money, like enough money to get some Quiznos. I mean, some fucking Chipotle or something, like But I actually got a nice bag. I said, hey, if I could do this every week, we doing good. This is gonna be what we talk about in the future. Give people. I didn't get a chance to text y'all, and I didn't want to bug y'all anymore. But think about an LL quotable that y'all like. I want to at least give people like 1 or 2 quotables. So take some time to Google. But let's talk about accomplishments. LL, I think, has so many accomplishments, and we are going to talk about all of them. This is our Jodeci moment. But for right now, if you had to pick one, if you had one vote to get LL into the Hall of Fame, what would you say is this is the reason why L should be in the Hall of Fame? What would that accomplishment be? Like I said, if you have more, we'll go back and talk about them, but just one. And I think I'm going to pick out of all these things, I'm going to go with his longevity. And we've touched on it. I'm looking at his contemporaries when he came out. Run DMC. I think the last album that people really cared about Run DMC was Tougher Than Leather in '88. Run's House, Beats to the Rhymes. I can go with Down with the King in '93, but I really think that we cared, but I don't know if we cared. Like, it was like, okay, now they're bald, they look like they're Onyx, they look like the youngsters. Like, I'm a listen. Y'all cared? Okay. I can say I'm in the minority. I really was like, sure, whatever. I felt like after the afros and Pauls and after Pauls, I was like, I'm kind of good. Now we doing New Jack Swing, right? I'm good. So Houdini fell off in '87. For me, the last Run DMC album was Tough from Leather in '88. The last Fat Boys album was '86. So these are the people that they're coming up with. And L, like Rel said, and I say this so many times, LL came out when I was in the 5th grade. LL's Mr. Smith came out when I was a junior in college. That's 85 to 95. Now, somebody out there may only say, hey, Kill, that's only 10 years. 10 years in hip-hop from 85 to 95 is like dog years. That shit is like 30 years in dog years. Because you're going through so many different eras that you have to keep up with. You know what I mean? Like, so I just think that that's amazing to me. His longevity. So I'm voting for L to get in based off his longevity. Rel, if you had to pick one thing for LL to get into the Hall of Fame, what are you picking for? What's the one accomplishment?
It would be longevity, but I'm going to go a little further. Longevity through all the changes in hip hop.
Right.
All the fads, what was popular, the changes in sound, the changes in producers, all of that. To be able to have hits when I was a fucking baby to hits when I'm out trying to make a baby is crazy. So
that's very crazy the way you say that. Going from a baby to trying to make a baby. That's a very well saw way to put it. And Rel, to even add on to that, because I wasn't thinking about this until you said it. For people out there watching who don't understand the different eras, listen to Common's one. I used to love it. Because I think Common does an excellent breakdown of where hip hop was going and through all the different fads and everything like that. The other thing I would like to say about L is once he became in the 90s, I mean, we could say he got with the Trackmasters, but he didn't do a Rakim who had to like get with a primo or he never really like producer hopped, in my opinion. You know, he wasn't like, I got to get a Pete Rock beat or I got to get a primo beat or I got to get a Pharrell beat. Like, he kind of stayed in his realm. Now, keep in mind, after Mr. Smith, I kind of dipped out. So Phenomenon, I know eventually Headsprung, he got with Timbaland, but I'm just talking about in those days, outside of really getting with Marley, in my opinion, he wasn't really producer hopping to stay relevant. He was able to stay relevant kind of on his own. Gadget, one thing to get L in the Hall of Fame. What are you picking?
So this is gonna sound weird, but the most convincing drug dealer in a movie.
Only again.
Like,
I swear to God.
Dog, he played that role so good. I thought he was actually sticking a pool stick up dude. like that was that. Yo.
Nah, he did. He played the shit out that role.
I never seen a rapper be that good as an actor. And you know he's not a drug dealer. Like, that's the other part of it. Like, right.
Now,
in other movies before that, you know, the drug dealers had on the leather jacket and the gold chain, but that movie right there, that was like, yo, he scared me in that movie.
All right. But so that's what you want to cast your ballot for L to get in the Hall of Fame.
All right, no. No. I'm gonna say bouncing back from bad albums. Yeah. Like a lot of people put out a bad album and never bounce back. Play It Again, Shan. Like, I never heard another Shan record after that.
Yo, that album cover was horrible. There's certain hits that I have where you just know this album is not going to be good just based off the album cover and the title. Play It Again, Shan. I'm with you. So longevity, the bounce back. Veg, what do you have for L? What's your vote?
I would say consistency, because I think even though he had albums like in between that weren't great, he had mega hits on all of them, right? Like, it was part of the reason why he went platinum for like 10 years straight on each album, even the ones that weren't that crazy, was because he had those one or two songs that were like perfect for the radio. And it's difficult to do that when you were a heartthrob in the 1985, right? To keep that audience, to keep that consistency enough where your records can still go on the radio, still bumping the parties, and nobody feels some kind of way about, you know, a dude from mad long ago, like, getting played next to yours. Like, even later he had a hit with, I think The Dream was on it or whatever. And that album is horrible.
You saw Hutch?
I think it's called Baby. Something like that.
Dream, yeah.
But the song was kind of dope, and it was like, damn, this dude, if not for nothing, he can at least continue to make those. So I think his consistency in some ways to continue to have an impact through the years, through the decades, will be my vote.
All right. JR, what about you?
Mine was that you took my kind of with the longevity thing, to be honest with you. And for you to get in the Hall of Fame, you got to have some type of longevity for real. You know what I mean? And like you said, he started in 85 and he went through all of that. You know what I'm saying? Like we had like Rakim dropped off, Big Daddy Kane dropped off, like, you know what I mean? People that he started with, and then it was just like he still got through and still was making songs for the radio and making it for the pop audience, because that's what I Need Love was for. You know what I mean? And it hit, and he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame for that longevity, for you to have that, and then to get into movies and all that kind of stuff. It was just, his longevity definitely puts him in there, period.
Yeah. Chad, what about you, bro?
First, L made it cool to talk your shit about how good you were. You know, no matter what, like, you know what I mean? Like, he told you. You know what I mean? He would tell you in the lyrics. He would tell you in the interview. And even like when they started doing the verses, he said, "Who you gonna put up against me?" He was willing to take on anybody. You know what I'm saying? So that's that battle tested mentality. So for me, it's really so it's his versatility. You know what I mean?
Right.
He's like Kyrie. His trick bag is crazy. You know what I mean? Like he can go pick a lane. He can do whatever. You know what I mean? It's wild. It's like you can't front on him no matter how you kind of look at it. You know what I mean? Like he got a joint for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
His catalog is like a Chinese food menu. Like they got everything. You know what I'm saying?
He's so New York, yo. So
This nigga said a Chinese food menu.
New York. I love it.
Hey, good. We don't say Chinese no more. We say Asian, man.
No, we don't.
We try not to get canceled, man.
It say #1 China Garden. They don't say #1 Asian garden.
Or China King.
Hey, man, I'm trying to learn. They always teach me. I said something one day. I want some Chinese food. She was like, Daddy, Asian. I'm like, nigga, I can't keep up with what I can and can't say no more, man. I don't know how they getting offended over Chinese, but I just don't want to get canceled because I'm broke.
Are we saying, like, as far as longevity, L is #1?
I would probably say L is #1.
Yeah.
Hev would have been #2. You know, he passed, so, you know, we don't know where Heb would eventually done, but I felt Heb and L were kind of neck and neck in both categories. Like, you know, they did the acting thing, you know, they made the hits. Their radio commercial stuff never made the heads not fuck with it. Like, I'm like, when I was talking to Tone, I'm like, yo, Black Coffee, that shit wasn't boom bap. I'm not playing that strictly hip hop, but I wasn't mad at that shit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not mad at Got Me Waiting. That's probably top 5 Pete Rock beat for me is Got Me Waiting. You know what I mean? It's one of my favorite Lucas songs. You know, so yeah. So I mean, I think and he really gave you, and I think L did too to some extent. You get mad at this song, but then they hit you with "You Can't See But I Can See." So you know, or you get mad at this, but he hit you with "Who's the Man" off the "Who's the Man" soundtrack, which essentially was what Biggie did. Oh, you know, fuck that Juicy, but here comes, you know, fucking Warning, or I don't like that fucking Big Papa, but here comes Unbelievable. So it's kind of like riding that same wave. So I would have to say longevity, yeah, because I don't know any other MC who, when Mr. Smith dropped, I wanted to hear that shit. You know what I mean? Because there's a difference. There's people who's telling me, oh, such and such is a legend because they still making music. I don't give a fuck if you still making music. Do people want to hear your music? And that's the difference. So from 1985 to 1995, no matter what L did, I wanted to hear the next album. You know what I mean? I can't say that for any other artist that started in 1985.
This sounds crazy, but Hev should definitely be in that conversation. But I don't have him. If he had lived, yeah. But at #2, don't kill me, Fat Joe. Fat Joe has had a hit. In every decade.
Well, it depends on how you define hit. Like, to me, his first hit was probably fucking
Slow Joe.
No, that wasn't a hit. Like, see, but again, this is semantics. But let's not take it off of L. Let's stay with L. But that's when you say hit, I want to say that song he had with Ron G. Didn't he have a song with Ron G? Like, I don't think he had his first hit.
Showbiz and AG.
No. It was something. His first hit was after Pun died. Like, hit. Like, he's on the radio. Not fucking the Success remix with Primo or the Shit Is Real remix with. To me, those weren't hits. That's like saying Group Home had a hit with Superstar or Living Proof. Those weren't hits. They were dope songs to us, but they're not hits. Two different definitions for the same word. If y'all follow me on Twitter, y'all know I always say it. But let's get back to L. Let's talk about some of these other accomplishments that we got down here. He has to be one of the most, if not the most, battle-tested MC that we've seen. Ice-T, Kool Moe D, Cannabis. We agree on that?
He only had competition with one of them. Let's speak honestly.
With Cannabis?
Yeah, that was the only person who gave him some run.
I mean, gave him some run, but I'll say this. Moe D, I don't agree with it. My man Tone, other people out here in the world I've learned, really like that fucking ladies, lovers, licking, lovers, triple, double L shit, where he just did all that L shit for fucking 5 minutes. I thought the shit was whack. I concur with you, but I always say this. It's like in basketball. People will try to say, oh, but they didn't play anybody. We played who was put the fuck in front of us. That's it. I can't help that the #1 seed got knocked out by the 8th seed and we got to play a #8 seed. All I'm doing is playing who's in front of me. So you diss me, I'ma diss you back. The average rapper back in the day only had maybe one battle, if any. You know what I mean? So I agree with you that I don't think Ice-T or Mo D was any real competition for him. But shit, stranger things happen. You jumped up. If I rumble a boy, you can't be like, well, Kill ain't that nice because he whooped two niggas' asses who can't fight. They the niggas who was talking shit. What else I'm supposed to do? Like, that's all I can do is fight the niggas talking shit. If the niggas who's nice with their hands ain't talking shit, who am I supposed to fight? So I agree with you, but he's battle tested and has been through numerous battles. Most MCs, I mean, Kane hasn't been through numerous battles. Rakim hasn't been through numerous battles. Jay hasn't been through numerous battles. Has Nas been through numerous battles?
I think Jay.
No, but Kill, is that because people was willing to test him though? People was willing to test LL Pin in a way that they not willing to test all those other people's pin like that.
I agree with you. I'm just saying again, I can only rumble who wants to step to me. So I don't want it to be like, yo, Kill ain't nice with his hands just because he rumbled two boys who can't fight. They was the niggas who talk shit. Let some of these other niggas talk shit. Because I don't think L was even shook. When Cannabis stepped up, he could have easily been like, yo, this nigga crazy, man. It's the new lyrical genius of the world. That nigga want to smoke with him too. You know what I mean? Vague and Rel. I saw Vague first. What you got to say, Vague?
Well, real quick, LL started that shit with Cannabis, so that's noteworthy. And that was at the height of Cannabis being dope. Jay-Z is similar. I mean, his rap battles was more subliminal, but it was with people like Mace, and Mace ain't no slouch on the mic, but he wasn't really known for it. And some Harlem World niggas. It wasn't until he went at like Prodigy and Nas all in the same time period. You know what happened with Nas. So like in a lot of ways, I feel the same because with Mo D, even though I liked it, I felt like it was somewhat of a challenge at that time if I'm thinking about back then. And I felt like LL came out on top of that. I didn't see anything in Ice-T that would be a challenge for LL, but for him to pick a fight with Cannabis, that was different because I totally expected him to completely lose and lose bad and that be the end of it. But he held his own. So yeah, I would say battle tested because he always wanted to smoke, and he had a lot of subliminals for Jay-Z too. So he always wanted to smoke with somebody at some point.
Even his label mates.
Right. Yeah,
true. Well, you was gonna say something?
Yeah, like coming up, like one thing I used to like hate is like a almost fight nigga. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, you know the nigga around the way that always about to fight but don't fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, L was, if you diss him or he's going to diss you. Like he's ready for that smoke. That's what I appreciate about him. Like to battle Cannabis at that time, like was like almost suicide how hot Cannabis was at that time. You know what I'm saying? And this is for somebody that been out as long as L been. You know what I mean? He not even really in his prime. So like, I really appreciate. He's one of the most battle tested MCs. Like if you say something about him, he's coming back at you. Like it's not gonna be, you're not gonna bullshit. It's not gonna be some almost shit. He's gonna diss you, and y'all gonna be in a battle. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate that. Like I appreciate that, and that's one of the biggest things I respect about him and I like about him. Like that's kind of embodies like how we were coming up in Philly. Like we was always like, I don't want to say the underdog, but our spirit is like a fighting spirit. You know what I'm saying? And I always appreciated that about him. That's another one of the reasons why he was like my favorite, because he wasn't backing down from no smoke ever. And I appreciate it.
So we got respected battle MC, longevity, his ability to bounce back. To me, top 5 diss song ever with Jack the Ripper. You know what I mean? One of the greatest diss songs ever with that. Well, is there anything else that we haven't touched on that you feel is a huge accomplishment for L? And this is the place we can talk about movies and TV and all the other shit he's done. So any other accomplishments you want to highlight for somebody?
I think you know how like certain the MCs that start acting, they like can't do both at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like when it's movie time, they can't record. You know what I mean? They kind of like you don't hear from him. Like he was able to like balance that shit. Like you know what I'm saying? Being a actor and still putting out quality music at the same. Like you talk about Common all the time. Like how you know
Nigga trash, man.
how you can't stand him as a actor and then his music suffered, you know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
I think L was able to balance that, like, you know what I'm saying, for the most part. Like of course he had some duds, you know what I'm saying, but it's just like it's always the bounce back is there. And like Vegas said, even on some of the albums that we call in duds, it was like hits on there, like bangers on there, you know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
I think that's one thing, like just to be able to keep that balance, you know what I'm saying?
All right. Chad, what about you? Anything else we haven't spoke on that you feel someone who doesn't know LL's pedigree should know about?
How he really brought money to the game. I mean, you think about like what, like especially like black-owned businesses, like what that FUBU movement was a movement. Like that's how rappers started getting like their own money and getting rich, right? Like when they cashed out of FUBU, that led to like Puff and Fat Farm and with Sean John, Fat Farm. That started that whole wave of like straight up, oh wait, we could own other things. You know what I mean? That was the diversification of the paper was like one of the really biggest things that he did. Like think about how hard it was for Run DMC to get an Adidas deal. You know what I mean? And they didn't even really get real bread from it. You know what I mean? It was mainly a product deal. You know what I mean? More than anything else. They didn't get like a lot of money from Adidas. But like LL, what they did with like that FUBU and then what that started. Like today, like I mean, everybody's creating their own merch and their own lines and things like that. You know, I think like we got Ciroc out of that. Like if we don't have FUBU, I don't think we ever got Ciroc. You know what I mean? And
Right.
we went from FUBU to Ace of Spades. You know,
Right.
all of that happened because of what LL started, and I think like that's like he brought real money to artists if you really wanted to chase that paper.
All right. Veg, what about you?
A nigga that had one pants leg up for several decades. That's confidence. A nigga who wore white jean shorts in the Paradise video.
Listen,
That is some confidence because the long joints too. The John Cena fucking jean shorts. Boy,
with
like,
Thames.
right, they go straight to the Thames. Like, damn, all those shorts. But nah, I think I don't know. I think we said a lot of it because I think when you look at the Rock the Bells situation, right, which was initially just another channel on Sirius XM, and then he got that deal of millions of dollars, and he not only created a clothing line and all of that, but also the Rock the Bells concert that happens every summer. And everybody talks about what Nas was doing during Hip Hop 50, but L was doing a lot with that during Hip Hop 50, and you could see him flipping the money, right? Because a lot of cats get that kind of paper and you just never see where it goes, right? You might see a new whip or something like that, or one project, but you could see the different things he's doing. And I was following Rock the Bells when it first came around. I think I was following him like on Instagram, and I've seen the growth as a result. And I know he spearheaded that. And one other thing that I liked about the Rock the Bell situation is that he was employing other old school rappers like Roxanne Shante on that channel and stuff like that, showing love to these people. So I think it was just dope all around what he brought to the game. And a lot of times, we just don't talk about it that much because I don't know. I think we take it for granted sometimes. Like, he's still here. We think he's always going to be here, and we all know the case. Nobody's always going to be here. So,
Right. The funny thing with Rock the Bells at first, when he first started, I didn't even know it was L shit. I thought somebody bit his shit, and was doing Rock the Bells.
It wasn't.
It was?
No, it was some dudes in Cali. That was when Joe Budden got punched in the face by Wu-Tang, right? Wasn't that it? originally at Rock the Bells, but L wasn't involved with it.
Right.
It was some other people running it, and he sued them to get the name.
Okay. Right. All right. Cool. That makes sense. Gadge, what about you? Anything else we missed?
I think L made it cool to feature on R&B records. Like some of his verses on R&B records are better than some people's regular verses on a Primo beat. I'm not like if you look at the verse for Montel Jordan, his verse for Get It On Tonight, the first and second, dog, you. Everybody watching this video, just Google the lyrics for Montel Jordan. Get It On with LL. He smokes it, and he made it cool to like women. For the dudes who didn't like women in R&B,
he made it cool to like women. The fuck is going on?
I'm sorry, R&B, because a lot of people don't like R. They just listen to rap.
Oh, okay. I got you. Like this nigga made it cool to like women. I'm like, nigga, shit. I don't know if L made it cool to like women, but cool, But no, I know what you're saying on the R&B tip. I think that was a great thing about L. He could walk both lanes flawlessly. You know what I mean? And nobody got mad when he did shit. Shit, half the shit you and JR naming, I got to go look up because I ain't never heard half them shits. You know what I mean? So it is. I think that's just another testament to L. JR, what about you? Did we miss anything that?
Nah, y'all hit it on the head. I was just nodding every time y'all was saying something. So you good over here?
And I mean, I think at the end of the day, for the younger generation, I really just want to have a quick convo. Like, how do you think we get through to them the importance of our golden era MCs? How do we get them to understand that even like, or is it too much for us to try to get them? Because can we really expect a 35-year-old to understand how nasty L is? Like if a 35-year-old watches this and says, fuck that, I want to learn, y'all schooled me, I'm listening to all these albums right here. Can a 35-year-old in 2024 listen to this with everything that he's grown up on and see what we're talking about that makes L so dope?
No.
Well, yeah.
It gotta be a want to. It gotta be a want to. That's a want to thing. Like they can do it, but do they want to? Do they even care?
What you gonna say, Joe?
That's true, but this generation is all about longevity. They want to see how long their artists can go and how many hits their artists can go. And we kind of check the box. LL got hits. LL's longevity. And
but I think what I mean, like for instance, before I send somebody back to listen to radio from '86, I may send you to go listen to Grandmaster Flash's White Lines first to get you in the mindset of this is the music that was getting made before he came up. Because if somebody's just listening to Benny the Butcher's new album right now and then puts this on, this is gonna sound elementary to them. You know what I mean?
They not doing it, man. They not doing it.
He ended the rock era.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. That
it was like LL ended that era.
Right. But the thing is, I agree with everybody that they would want to do that. But I'm just wondering, I don't know. Veg, you were about to say something.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I forget who said it, but I think you do start, I think it was Brad, I think you do start with them having an interest in learning about it. I don't think it's just going back and listening because they don't really have the context of the time. But they live in an age where information is just at their fingertips. So they could go and, you can Google and say documentary on LL and some dude on YouTube done did the whole shit himself, right? You can learn about somebody and get the context and then go listen to the music, and now you feel like you're more in that space to say, I see why it was so popular for y'all back then, because this was the bar. Like I did the same thing with my sons, right? Because when they were young, like stuff like Sonic and Transformers and shit was around again, and I was like, shit, that was when I was a kid. And I gave them, I said, okay, look look at Madden 94. Now this shit was crazy to us because the ambulance is coming out and picking up the
right.
And this was realism to us compared to then. And I would tell them like, but it had to start somewhere when you look at the steps. So I think if you've given them context or they have some form of context to go back, then they can understand without even having experienced it in real time. They can understand why somebody is called a GOAT or a legend or whatever, based off of having more information.
Right. Yeah, you were saying something?
No. Vegas already kind of said what I was gonna say. Like, yeah, you gotta kind of, cause that's how my parents got me. You know what I mean? Because they knew I was so in. Watch it. I know where you going.
No. I was gonna say you have to understand, JR. I love hearing your stories of you and your parents because I don't think any of us grew up in a house where our parents loved hip hop. So I love hearing about how your mom loved the R&B, your dad loved hip hop, and they kind of came together and you soaked all that in.
Because they kind of knew where I was, so then they was like, well, you know something came before this. So let me throw you onto this. And then I started loving the original stuff. And when they started realizing that, they like, oh, all right, well, we're going to give you more and more and more and more. And for a minute, I forgot about the new stuff because I was so into that. And it was just, I had they saw that I had an interest in it. So like Vegas said, it's like, you got to kind of meet them where they at. You know what I'm saying? Meet us where we at and then take us.
But see, you had two music teachers living in your house. Essentially, your mom and your dad were your music teachers.
We got plenty of that, like Vegas say, online now. Like you can go on YouTube and somebody can teach you about something, and you can watch a documentary on YouTube. You can watch Apartment 5B. You can watch this. Like it's so much stuff out there. Vegas Hip Hop Now podcast. Like you got so much information that you can see, and you can kind of meet that person halfway, depending on how how it comes to you. So I think I agree with Vegas with that. That was my life.
Gadget Darrell.
I think
I'll say something fucking crazy because I already see it in your face. I already see you laughing before. If Gadget is laughing and smiling before he says something, you don't know what the fuck about to come out of his mouth right now.
No, I agree with everything. People have to have the right mentality. Like Kill, your daughter appreciates what you listen to growing up. A lot of people, they're still on the Drake, also Michael Jackson. Like you can't have that mentality and then listen to LL and be like to see his greatness. You know what I mean? So they have to have the mentality and the willing to learn.
Yeah.
Right. What you gonna say, bro?
Yeah, because one of the things that I watch on YouTube a lot is like reaction videos to, and it's a young guy, he probably maybe 21, and he reacts to a lot of old school, well, let me not say old school, but our era of hip hop. But that's something he wants to learn about. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's something, and his father kind of school him on certain stuff, and then he reacts to it, and you can see this is his first time hearing some of this stuff, and it's like, like Gadget was saying, you gotta have the right, be in the right mindset to be able to accept, you know what I'm saying, like listening to LL and recognizing what he brought to the game and his greatness.
I agree. I think the one place we have to go further is kind of like me working with teens. Everybody wants to complain about everything that these teens is doing. They robbing, they shooting, they killing. Who the fuck wants to come out and help me work with them? Then it's fucking crickets.
Real.
So at the end of the day, it's almost like Gadge, like you said, I've been teaching Naomi about music literally since the day she came home from the hospital. Literally. JR, his parents have been pouring into him, I'm sure, as soon as he came home from the hospital. For these kids, it's almost like for somebody who wasn't raised in the church. So when I started going to church, I wasn't raised in the church. I needed a mentor. I'm reading this Bible, so I have the oomph to want to learn more, but you need that old head to kind of help you. Like, yo, old head, I don't get this dude Job. I used to call the boy Job. I'm like, yo, Job getting messed. You know, I'm like, nigga, it's Job. I'm like, nigga, I don't fucking know. It's Job. It look like Job. You know, but I feel like you need that music mentor. And like JR said, everybody's saying the right things. It can be Apartment 5B. It could be Hip Hop Now. It could be Into the Dome. It could be something, but it's just somebody needs something more than just take this Bible and go read and be a Christian. Like, you need men's fellowship. You need church on Sunday. Like, you need that one-on-one. And I think, to be honest with you, I don't think a lot of old heads are willing to give that. The same way with my kids. Everybody want to complain about the violence. Ain't nobody showing up that fucking help me work with these kids. I beg on Twitter daily for that shit. And you know who shows up? White people. No black people, but white people. But we want to complain about kids. So again, I think somehow, some way, I know we have dropped, not me, because I do shit all the time with everybody, but we've got to pick up the pieces of like knowing like, hey, if somebody asks us about some shit on hip hop, we gotta be willing to school them. You know what I mean? And I think too, Vegas, your podcast, my podcast, people who have podcasts, this is a great learning place for people to learn. But I think it is that one, but then you have to have that other person you can go to say your OG. With the same thing in marriage. I needed my old head mentors in marriage. Like, nigga, I'm new to this. I don't know how to fucking do this shit. Like, yo, my wife bugging about this. What should I do? In your job, you should have a mentor who helps you kind of walk through the facets of getting a job and moving on. So I just feel like we need more music mentors out there. So I am proud of the shows and the podcasts that we do. People watching, old heads watching who are reminiscing with us. I just challenge y'all to do something to give back, because it's not just as easy as, hey, listen to these 3 albums and shut the fuck up. Like, it's listen to these 3 albums, then come get back with me and then we'll talk about the albums. You know, but it can't just be stop fucking stealing these cars. Oh, well, mister, I can't read. Oh, that's too goddamn bad, little nigga. Can't read. No, you gotta tell them stop stealing cars and come out to the teen center, help this nigga learn how to read. Like, we gotta meet them halfway, because we blame the young boys, but a lot of the OGs haven't done any type of pouring back into them, and we expecting them to know shit. The game don't work like that. The game don't work like that.
Hey, I got a bounce, Kill, but it was a pleasure being on the panel.
Where can they get with you, man? Scratch Magazine, give them everything, good brother.
Scratch Mag TV, Scratch Mag TV everywhere, and at Digital Hustler everywhere.
All right, new episode of Philadelphia Half-Life this weekend?
Yes, Saturday. It's gonna be amazing.
New Philadelphia Steak Life. I said Philadelphia Half-Life. Philadelphia Steak Life. What'd you say?
What was the place we went to? What was the name of it?
I don't even fucking remember no more.
Capo's Deli.
Capo's Deli over there on U Street. Capo's Deli. We're gonna give a review of that. Be up Saturday. Thank you, Gadget. Appreciate you, brother.
All right, bro. See y'all later.
All right. So, prayerfully, everybody out there who has watched and has learned why LL should be much higher than the top 25 MC. Prayerfully, you will go do some of the homework. We gave you the popular songs. We gave you the slept on songs. We gave you the albums. We gave you the whys. So, like Rel in Vegas said, all you gotta do is have the one. This episode right here is the mentor, and I'm like a pastor in church. You ain't gotta come join this church. I just want you to get right with God. You don't have to listen to this podcast, but I always tell people on Twitter, you need to find a good hip hop mentor or a good music mentor. It don't gotta be me, but you need to follow some of these people, because some of these niggas don't know what the fuck they talking about. Please don't get that shit twisted. They changing history. It's about what they like, and you need to find the same way you go church hopping. When you decide you want to get your life right and you want to find a church, you gotta go to a couple of churches before you find the right one that speaks to you. I just challenge people out there, before you just say, okay, I'm gonna fuck with this dude because he got 100,000 followers. Just pump your brakes and just find yourself a hip hop mentor if you really, really, really want to learn about this culture, because there's a lot of people out here who are willing to teach. We may not have the time to do it one-on-one, but again, we have these podcasts. JR has the R&B reps. You know, we're all doing something somehow, some way to educate people. So definitely do the knowledge. Chad, where can they get at you? I know you're like a ghost. You like Ghost on Power. I thought about you the other night because I'm going back watching Power, because I got all these Kanan theories now. So I done went down a fucking Raising Kanan rabbit hole on YouTube. And Unique ain't dead, and this motherfucker is Grease. So I'm going back and watching Power. Oh man, I'm old shit, man. I'm down a rabbit hole. I always watch Kanan, not but for the low alone. Niggas kept saying, "Kill, you gonna love Jukebox because this shit be rocking all the low." So I've always loved it, but now I'm really on these YouTube channels now, and got all these philosophies. So I'm going back watching Power, and I thought about Ghost, thought about Chad. This nigga disappeared. Nigga graduated, never seen him again. Nigga literally just disappeared. We be at homecoming like, who has seen Chad? Like, just over all these years of Morgan. So where can they get at you, Chad? You're gonna say nowhere, but just for shits and giggles, where can they get at you?
I won't say nowhere this time. You know, I actually got my socials posted. So you can just hit me there, man. If you know me, love me, just hit me. You know, I'm
right,
in.
They're right there. Everybody follow him before he races them again. I'm excited. He's coming down next week for Super Bowl week. It's the first time I've seen this man in almost 30 years. So I'm excited about that shit. JR, where can they get at you, good brother?
New page, JR R&B Rep on Twitter, Junior's Brother Soul on Instagram.
Now, please, JR, tell them what happened because I don't want more people getting suspended and getting their accounts banned. What happened on Twitter?
They took my Twitter page down for a post that I put up like 3-4 years ago, and it was like a clip of a Brownstone remix with Craig Mack, and I put like maybe 15 seconds of that clip, and they just took my page down. I was gonna delete the joint. It was gonna be good. I deleted it. Next thing I got in my email, they said your page had been suspended. So I had to make a whole new page. So it's crazy. So be careful with the music stuff. They got
do not post the clips. Do not screenshot them. If you're gonna post music, just post the link to YouTube. Yes. Leave it alone. Do not screenshot the video. Do not post the video. Do not let the video be in your media because Penny got his account suspended for the same thing. Same day. Penny hit me in the morning and JR hit me in the same day. So we just give them the heads up out there. If you got shit on your page, take it down because they will eventually get at you. So
yes, they will. Yes, they will. So
yeah, and you know, Universal pulled all their music off of TikTok.
Yeah, I heard. Because Deltron said one of his videos, he got hit on TikTok. So they crushing down on this music shit, yo, for real. So
right. I've seen people who like Chuck, I think was it Chuck? Somebody was like, I couldn't even post my own music. The shit that's my album that I can't post because of different things. So everybody, don't get your account suspended. So, and what's the new one again, JR?
JR R&B Rap. That's just that. Yeah. We got a new video coming out. It's we talking about D'Angelo's The Root. Somebody came on and talked about actually the girl that played this. She's Gotta Have It. She played Lulu. Santana. So she came on to talk about The Root, and then we talked about somebody picked player Cheers to You. So those are the two catch that minis that we got coming up. By this time, I knew JR's Motown Life come out. I talked about the Contours, Do You Love Me? So you get a little backstory about them and how the song was made and all that. And James Jamerson, how he played on it and all that. And Elisa's coming up with another one of her 60 seconds of vinyl, which is so dope. So dope, man. She got another one coming. I was like, what? So that's going to be dope. So just check us out on R&B Raps. We're going to actually start with our new our page to kind of bring everybody there. We want the people to subscribe to that so we can kind of chill with Twitter because they wilding out. So we got our own page and we pay for it. So we're going to start bringing people there. So just follow us on R&B Raps on Instagram and Twitter so y'all can get the updates for all that too. So
no doubt. And I got a new show with JR. I don't even know what the fuck I call it. Y'all know me. I make up a new show every other day. JR comes to my crib and I tell him, you got to look through all these records and fucking pull out an album and drop science on that shit. He got 1 minute to find it.
And if I don't like it, I still got to talk about it. Like, this guy.
Right. So, it's a test. It's like Jeopardy, nigga. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta, it's like Jeopardy. And the nigga passed the first time he did it. He grabbed the album, didn't like it. I had to explain why you don't like it. He tried to put it back. I said, no, nigga, that's your first album. Like, you got to explain why you don't like it. He explained why he didn't like it. So, still dope. Vague, what's up? Where can they get at you, bro?
Kill, you gotta put Jodeci, The Show, The After Party in that record collection.
Hell no.
You don't like that album?
Hell no.
You don't like The Show, The After Party?
No.
That's a whole nother episode. We'll come back to that. That's a whole nother episode right there.
You can follow me on all social media platforms at Vegas World INC, and check out my podcast, which is in audio and video form on YouTube, called Hip Hop Now Podcast. And I got a new segment, which actually I recorded all the videos last year, just didn't put them out until now, called Tale of the Tapes. If you've seen my podcast or seen me on this show, in my garage, there's a bunch of tapes in there, not just the one behind me. I pull out a tape, I talk about it for about 2 minutes, what I thought at the time, how I bought it, what was what. It's a nice, quick shot of nostalgia and a little bit of history and a little bit of humor. I seen a couple of y'all niggas pulling out your shit on Twitter. I see y'all niggas. But it's okay because you can't do me, right? You could. We all got cassettes. We all like the album, so that's cool. But yeah, I really enjoy it. And I wanted to put it out last year, but I figured I'd wait. And this week I do Master P's album Ghetto Dope and Fushnickets. F-U, don't take it personal. Yes, those cassettes are still in my garage.
Hey, Chad was just talking about Chinese restaurants, so you know you gotta do the whole Fushnickets. You know what I mean? You gotta do that. Dope. Rel, what you got up, man? Rel Tresvan.
Yes, sir. Uptown Rel 215 on Gram, JBen215 on Twitter. Of course, Illidale Steak Life, new episode coming. We're gonna be
people who don't know, Illidale Steak Life, Gadget, myself, Rel from Philly. We go around, we go to places that people have either said they got dope cheesesteaks, or we read about them. We go there, we review them, we eat bad shit so y'all don't have to, and we give a breakdown on cheesesteaks the same way we do with hip hop. So it's definitely a dope show. Got 2 F's out, so definitely check that out. Keep going, Gadget, with Rel with Rel Tresvan. That's what I'm excited about.
The new album working on now is called It's Not You, It's Me, and it is executive produced by my man Kill and my man JR. So y'all know the vibes. Vegas gonna be featured on it, so I'm in the early processes of that, so look out for that.
Yo, real quick before I go to me, I had a bar here, and I wanted to know what y'all thought about this. If you remember Mr. Goodbar, he says on the third verse, don't be cruel because you'll be on your own because my prerogative is the microphone. Come and get this ice cream cone and I deliver it when your daddy ain't home. And then in the background, he got like Big Daddy Kane. Did y'all ever think that was a shot at Kane?
I think anytime LL does subliminal shit like that, it is a shot.
My dad always thought it was. He always thought that was a shot to Kane. Always. Yeah.
Oh, he always does that. He's a Jodeci nigga, Kill. Like LL is the most extra nigga in hip hop ever. Like,
yes.
So I wouldn't put it past him.
Yeah, it was just always so funny. I mean, it just quotable. I don't know. Did y'all ever find a quotable, or do y'all have a quotable? I know I threw this was a last minute audible. Chad, which one of your favorite quotables from L?
Yeah, so mine is because it's him talking, being battle tested. He said, I thought I conquered the world. I crushed Moldy, Hammer, and Ice-T. I was like, because a lot of times people don't do the callback. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have a beef, you kind of move on, and you don't really even mention it. This was way after like all of that. He was like, he said, don't forget who I am and what I've done. You know what I'm saying? Like Jay-Z not gonna mention either Era or Nas no more. You know what I mean? Like he's not gonna do that callback. But
man, nigga don't need to do that callback. He don't need.
He's like, don't forget, stop playing with me. You know, that was the way, like stop playing with me. You know what I mean? Right. Like, when he did to Ice-T's curl, like that, Ice-T cut his curl because of LL.
You got one, Ron?
I'm gonna expand on that. He said that was one of mine. He was like, I battle any nigga in the rap game. Quit. Name the spot. I make it hot for you bitches. Female rappers too. I don't give a fuck, boo. That shit was hard. That was crazy. Female rappers too. I don't give a fuck, boo. Like that shit was crazy. That's what I like about L, man. Female rapper, male rapper. I don't give a fuck. What's up?
Right. Vay, what about you?
Yeah, what makes it even iller is the fact that this is the ladies' love, dude.
Right.
Yeah.
That actually was mine, but I got another one from Il Bomb. When he said this, I think it put some perspective on LL Cool J and where he was compared to his peers. He said, some of these old cats is funny, fuck who's legendary. I'm trying to get this money. I looked at that like, yeah, all these broke niggas, they're like, you're not top 10, you're not top 5. He's still out here. And again, this ain't no two-step record. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Shout out to the song Airplay. Also, no Airplay. That song is crazy.
Yeah.
Shout out that.
Jared, you got a verse or anything?
I was definitely the end of I Shot You. I just love because he let you know like who he battled, but then he's letting the new ones know like not this time, but next time I'm a name LL shitting from on top of the game. I shot you like, yo, like he talking his shit. Like I was just like, whoa. That line is. I always love getting at that line, and he's so hard with it. Like you know what I mean. So that's the favorite quote of mine.
One of mine is I got no shame in saying back in the day I ain't have no game like that. You know what I mean? So I'm like Nas, where that nigga say I got no game, it's just some bitches understand my story. You know what I mean? Ain't never a problem that my niggas would handle for me. My Gator brand is Maury. Like Nas was in his bag on that. It was great. But when that nigga said on Mr. Goodball, like, you got a man, that's something we won't talk about. He's smart enough to have you, but dumb enough to let you out. Like, I love that line. Like, God damn, what the fuck? This nigga's a genius. Like, who thinks about that shit? Like, you got a man, that's something we won't talk about. He's smart enough to have you, but dumb enough to let you out. You know? And I always love the whole rhyme. If your Mona Lisa's name was Teresa, I get a piece of the Mona Lisa. Like, that was always my shit, too. So, just shout out to the quotables. More love for L. Kill 889 Twitter, IG. Definitely, man. Just, you know, we got a lot of dope shit coming on. I love having dope people around me. Chad, I can't wait to see you next week. JR has so much great stuff cooking up. Vegas doing his thing with everything. We working on some music too. Rel working on his project and doing things. So Gadget with fucking Scratch Magazine, and he's doing 50 million things. So just Tone, shout out to Tone with Enter the Dome. Check that out. I was on his joint the other night doing that. Yeah, so just keep rocking with us, man. Prayerfully, y'all will have the interest, because, you know, we have given you everything you need to the crumbs to follow the greatness of LL. Prayerfully, you'll listen to us and check them out. So I'll check y'all next week, good people.